Hello everyone! We are going through the Bible to find the importance of Christmas. Today's block is a picture of a lion. So after Jeremiah's letter, God's people waited for God to keep his promise. They planted gardens, they built houses, and started families, but most of all, they counted the years. They remembered God's promise to bring them back home. So even though they felt alone, they knew that God was with them. Even when it was hard, even when they didn't always listen, and even when they were miles and miles from home, God did not forget his people. So he sent another prophet to remind them that they wouldn't stay far away forever. His name was Daniel. Daniel was one of the smartest prophets. He was also one of the hardest workers, and he had a special skill. Like Joseph had back in Egypt, Daniel knew how to interpret dreams. That was a winning combination, so it shouldn't surprise you that the king named Darius gave Daniel a great job and an important title. Daniel might have been far from home, but the king had given him a lot of power. Some people got jealous of Daniel pretty quickly. They wanted his great job and his important title, so they started plotting a way to take Daniel down. So this was their plan. Everybody knew that Daniel loved God and prayed to him every day. So they decided to get King Darius to make a new law so that everyone could only pray to the king. Now, of course, we know that's a bad idea because people should only pray to God, and Daniel knew that too, but the king didn't. And according to this new law, if the people didn't pray to the king, they'd be thrown in a lion's den and become a lion's snack. So when this group of bad guys came to the king, it was over in a heartbeat. The king heard their idea and loved how important it made him seem. He had no clue that they were trying to hurt Daniel. He signed the paper, and just like that, Daniel's life was in danger. Daniel heard about the new law, but he prayed to God anyway, just like he always had. He went to his room and closed the door and prayed, like he had every day before. But the bad guys were listening, and they knew that Daniel had broken the law. So they dragged Daniel before the king. They stated the law and demanded that Daniel go to the lions. So the king realized what had happened, and he regretted the law that he made. He was stuck. He had soldiers throw Daniel into the lion's den. But even as he did, he said something that almost sounded like a prayer, saying that he hoped Daniel's God would rescue him. So the next morning, the king ran straight to the lion's den, peered his head in, and asked if Daniel was there. Daniel answered and said that he was fine. And while everyone thought that Daniel was alone, God was with him and had protected him. Even when it was dark, and even when Daniel probably felt alone, and he might have even been scared, God was there and took care of him. Daniel wasn't the only one that God used miles and miles from home. He was also using other prophets to get all kinds of people ready for his return. And still, every day, they prayed. So the picture of the lion reminds us how God protected Daniel from the lions when Daniel obeyed God, even when it went against what the king had said. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about how God protected a man even when he disobeyed God. See you tomorrow!